Yo, what's going on, fine folks? I missed you all. I was gone an extra couple of days. Thank you for all the prayers for Dad. Still no update. He's still incapacitated in the hospital. Very sad. Trying to get through it. We don't know what's going to happen, but again, thank you all for the prayers. I sent out a little tweet and updated the old community page here. I meant to be back Sunday night. Oh my gosh, the train ride home from Arizona, as most of you know, I was in Arizona, did the videos from there. 2 day trip on the train. We had a suicide, believe it or not on the train. Somebody jumped in front of the train. Very sad. It was horrible. It was outside of Reading. So I got the train down to a science. I've taken this damn thing on a 2 day trip times four now. So I kind of, you know when you're going to sway and rock, and there's never really any, slam of the brakes type of situation that I've been on, right? So anyway, there we're going through Reading, slams the brakes, not too bad, slams them again, slows down. Anyway, the conductor was sitting behind me, nice guy. He goes, "Uh-oh, we hit another one." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like a deer maybe or something?" No, a human being, for crying out loud. So we go down, check the whole scene out. We were stuck on the tracks for 4 hours. It was just a nightmare. I mean, it was a horrible thing to go through. This old lady next to me was just freaking out and couldn't believe it. Sad, very, very sad. And I guess that happens. The guy says on his, he works 5 days a week. It happens like 4 times a month. So pretty crazy. So that was crazy. So that was my extra day. And then the whole thing with Dad, and then so on and so forth. So we're back. We are back. The news of the day, obviously, the earnings we knew they were going to be good. These were outstanding. The 90% of the float confirmed by Adam Aaron is literally all we need to know. I want to take a time in this video, tell you about what is going on. I don't like talking about my position too much. I have over the last 10 months now on frickin' YouTube. I'm going to tell you guys is my plan going forward with GameStop from November, December, January, and then finally last week with the OPEX run and all of the cycles continuing with GameStop. None of that stuff worked out for the last 3 months. I am down monstrously on my GameStop call position. I still have my shares. I still have my AMC shares, obviously. I'm kind of redoing my whole thinking here, and I'm going to give you guys an idea of what I'm going to do, how to stay cool and calm. I am not going anywhere. I seen Lou is in the news with these talking about the synthetics disappearing, and a lot of time there's a lot more to that. I'm gonna dig into that later this week, and as far as these synthetics go and where they go and how they kind of lay around and blah blah blah. Okay, so we'll get down to that later in the video. So anyway, again, shorted at earnings. AMC, right? Our Barbara. You guys, most of us, I'm sure, are. You could, if earnings was during regular trading hours, you could buy yourself some calls, especially with GameStop. It is clockwork, and it's clockwork with AMC. You could sit there, and that's why if the earnings calls were during regular hours, every single time I would buy myself some puts and just rake in the dough. It's amazing that they do that every single time, but it is what it is. Now, the earnings, as far as the whole shorts thesis on this stock, we have said this the last two earnings calls. This is number 3. The last two earnings calls, the not the last one, the time before that, we basically said, hey, the short thesis on this probably goes away. The next one we're certain. This one here, end of story, game over, good night, Irene. AMC stock is not going anywhere. The business is thriving, and every single number that you look at in there has basically proven that, right? Most of you guys is now, obviously I'm late on it. Here's your 17-page report, the PDF version. I'll fire that in there. Some of the key takeaways, obviously, in there. There was 60 million tickets sold, liquidity of 1.8 billion, positive cash flow, which was the main big one. I think we're at 160 million or so. Obviously, continued growth quarter after quarter. Every single time it gets better and better. The main one, when Adam Aaron broke it down and says, the 4 million shareholders and we own 90% of the float. We knew it was 80 months and months ago. Most of us thought it was probably 90% plus. Adam Aaron has proved that today. I don't care what people say. The GameStop folks, the float's 500 million. The retail public owns 90% of the goddamn company. Okay? You guys, that's all we need to know. Besides, the last year this thing shorted to death, right? We know that. That's all we need to know. So the rest of this nonsense, the digging deep and trying to blast Citadel, a lot of you guys aren't going to like this, but Citadel, are they over leveraged? Yes. A lot of you guys probably seen how Citadel did last year. They're killing it. Citadel is absolutely killing it. Those guys are monsters, kinks. We all hate them. Other hedge funds hate them, but they're monstrous. This over leverage thing, they can control that to an extent, right? I think our biggest thing here in this short squeeze for AMC, GameStop, BBIG, whatever in the hell you're holding, that these companies for the last year, even with GameStop back to 2014 with Melvin, we need to wait for, and Gary's doing it, Gensler, Double G, some sort of all of these rules to take in place. We're already starting to see that. These hedge funds, we're going to touch on Melvin here in a minute, had another bad bet. These little tiny guys need to blow up, which they're about to do. How this market is the way it is with this whole what going on across the country is amazing to me. How it's held up like this. That's what I think. Okay. Now, do I know anything more than anybody? No. I'm just an average old stock swinger holding these stocks, and my plan is to hold these. I'm not a multimillionaire. I don't have gazillions of dollars. I got a decent sized portfolio, but I would like to move some money around and trade other stocks, which I do. I have about 20% of my portfolio where I basically trade the SPY. The rest I have in AMC, GameStop, BBIG. I have played that I don't know, 4 or 5 different times over the year. And then I took another position about 3 weeks ago in Dillard's. I'm going to touch on that, the difference between a different stock, not so much a meme stock. A lot of people, I'm sure some of you know about Dillard's. I'll touch on that and my position in that and why I'm kind of keeping cool with that position, because the thing is shorted to shit. And let's touch on that right now. Let's just get into it. I'm blabbling on. Anyway, Dillard's, I opened up this long position. I have a long call position. I have calls for August. They're not cheap, okay? So I have 10 calls in this stock. There's literally no float on this stock. There's 11 million shares. Most insiders own this company. This thing is, believe it or not, at $240, $255 after hours there, is still undervalued, and it is shorted to death. This thing, the jumps in these, like this wackiness, the bid-ask spread on the call chain, it's incredible, the stock. Look into it. I'm not trying to just sway anybody away from anything. But the reason I'm bringing this up and my position in this is because this one here, I did the DD on it. I bought my call positions for, months and months out. And I have not even literally got in and looked at it. Sure, I checked the price of the stock, but I'm not doing any more DD on it. I'm kind of just letting it sit there. I have my plan, obviously, between, let's call it now, and August, and whatever happens is going to happen. So maybe I average down if the stock goes down. It doesn't go down much, but long story short, that is my idea for this position. It's sitting in my Fidelity account, and I'm not looking at it. Okay, AMC, we've all been down this road for the last 13, 12 months, a year, whatever in the hell you want to call it, and we dig. In my opinion, I'm still doing these videos. All the chips are in place, you guys. This is my opinion on this, okay? And a lot of people, I get a lot of emails, people asking me. I always say, I don't know. I'm not going to predict anything. We need some sort of market event, or we need the SEC/DOJ to step in and iron this stuff out. So what I'm getting at, what I'm going to do, is I still have 1,550 shares of AMC. I have $20 calls, $22 calls, $25 calls, or no, yeah. Yes, 25 and, I think 25 is my max. I have 5 different strike prices, and I have those out for June, plus my shares. GameStop, I got 350 something of those too, I think, 300 something of shares. And I also have call options extended out. I bought my calls in November, averaged them down in December, and then January, and then put some more money in it into the February cycle. I'm down probably 35% on those options. I've closed out all of those except for the new ones coming up. not participating anything like we were hoping in December, January, and the last OPEX dates of last week. So it is what it is. The bottom line, we got into the stocks, whether you got in last January or you got in March, or you got it again at $70 or whatever, whenever you got in. 99.9% of you got in because of a short squeeze play. Nothing's changed. And for Adam Aaron to come out there today on record during the earnings call and say that we own 90% of the stock says a lot. Says a lot. So, in my opinion, and what I'm going to do is I don't want to say take a step back. I'm not taking a step back from nothing. I am going to let this thing play out. I'm still bullish as I've ever been, even at $70, $50, $19 where we're at today. That's what I'm going to do, you guys. And I hope a lot of you guys take some sort of something from that, because I get a lot of emails from me, and I can't imagine the bigger YouTubers, right? What are you going to do? Is the squeeze going to happen? Is it coming? What do you think? This day, that? No. We're going to wait. We're not selling shit. Obviously, you guys, nobody sold a thing. Nothing. All we've done is add to it. So it's great. I'm jacked to the gills. I honestly am. And that's no BS. Sitting at 1830, 119 and 121 on GME. So I'm holding those in my BBIGs. Oh, and then also too, I day trade the SPY. For 3 to 6 times a week, I'll trade the SPY. I got a nice little group that I'm in that does SPY trades. But that's it. You guys, I've been here a year plus. I didn't go anywhere at 70. I didn't go anywhere after I was at $17 down to $5. No. This thing's still shorted to the moon. Utilization's at 100% for what? 15th day or 16th day in a row? We're cool. We are absolutely cool. So yeah, outstanding day in the old earnings column. I love it. What else we got going here, folks? Oh, that. We don't need to read on any more of that. Another Melvin. Here's what I was talking about a minute ago. Breaking. Melvin Capital made a substantial investment in the EFT RSX just days before Russia invades Ukraine. The share price are now 60% less. Gosh, dog it. How much more can Melvin take? I haven't confirmed this, but it is from Dr. Parikh up there. Very, very well-known Twitter dude, and I'm sure he's not just blasting that out. But still, man, they're taking a beating. We need something like this. We need some little tiny bricks to fall, like these Melvins and stuff like that, right? Trimbath over here, Mrs. Susan Trimbath, DTCC reported a new 52-week high in daily U.S. Treasury fails, 76.12 billion, Monday, 28 February 2022, more than double from Friday, February 25th. Jesus. Hello. Yellow. This was kind of funny. Look who it's from. The Chicago Tribune Opinion. We know who's in Chicago, right? Mr. Kenny G and his boys over there. The fact that a relative handful of companies control millions of stock transactions, Citadel, on dark pool systems that aren't as open as traditional lit exchanges leave the nation's financial markets vulnerable. The problem needs to fixing. Here's a nice little article over here. You guys want to read that, but it's kind of funny how they're blasting that. You think Kenny would own that whole thing? Hey, whoa, dude, don't be fucking blasting that shit out there. Oh, sorry for the language, ladies. And let me ask you guys a question. How did I not know about this? HBO is making a documentary, Gaming Wall Street. We got to listen to this. I haven't listened to it. Somebody sent me this earlier. I just opened it. Let's listen. I haven't seen it. But who am I, right?
GameStop. Remember when you couldn't stop hearing about GameStop? Well, thanks to a bunch of nerds on Reddit, its stock price raised to heights no one could have ever imagined.
Because of all these hedge funds shorting the stock, GameStop started off as an undervalued play. So a lot of people are buying into it, not even worried that they lose all their money. It's more about a middle finger to the hedge funds.
There's this opportunity here to bet against what all the hedge funds did.
Finally, the underdogs had the upper hand.
This really is taking the world by storm.
Oh my God, it's making money.
Let's get these hedge fund monsters before they get us.
And that scared the shit out of some really rich people.
And then the Robin Hood thing happened.
They cut us off from trading because they wanted us to sell what we had.
What Robinhood did, that took the wind out of the sails.
I've never seen a group of stocks that you can no longer add to.
There is a lot of emotion here. All of this rage.
Definitely the worst point in my life.
What can we do to give a voice to it?
The GameStop frenzy ripped the curtain of how rigged our markets really are.
They forced the broader public to start asking questions that they've never really asked before.
And it's not just one firm, two firms, three firms. It's all the firms that commit capital.
And that cracked open a whole investigation.
Wall Street has been making money out of thin air.
So that's basically stealing, right?
The level of illegal activity is just astonishing.
The market does get manipulated in a lot of ways that we don't see.
But how do you play a game when someone else makes the rules?
Someone can cheat, and you'll never know.
It's intentionally hidden from you that you can't see where the problems really lie.
This is our one chance to blow up the Death Star.
I don't even care who the whistleblower is.
That's why it's important that people come forward.
This is just the beginning.
Now that is pretty badass, you guys. I like it. I cannot wait to see that. That is cool. Okay, we are out of here. Everybody relax. Let this thing play out. This is in the DOJ, SEC's hand, and these little tiny crumbling hedge funds that are about to go down. God, I still cannot get over Melvin. Every trade they do. What did Kenny Griffin call him? Gabe Plotkin is one of the best investors of our generation. I'm sure he's badass, but he has made some bad decisions here, obviously. Okay, I love you guys. Thanks for everything again with the prayers out there for Dad, and pray for the fine folks over in Ukraine. That is, I don't even know what to say with that. We're not going to get into that, but just say a prayer for the whole entire planet, for that matter, right? Okay, guys, love you. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good news today on AMC. Earnings call, baby.